everyone. Welcome to Create Here. My name is Lynn Gray. I'm Chief Executive Officer of the Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce and Chamber Foundation. And I am so glad to be your moderator today at the Welcome to Create Here workshop. This is Downtown Fresno's business plan competition sponsored by the Downtown Fresno Foundation. It is organized to increase economic development within the city's central business district. And there is a whopping $25,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs for 5 potential competition winners. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how the semifinalists will receive benefits, including working with a skilled mentor who will provide coaching to help refine and improve your business plan. Before we get too far down the road, I do want to bring on or introduce Jimmy. Jimmy is the leader of our Downtown Fresno Foundation. And Jimmy's gonna talk a little bit more about the program and get you guys excited.
Thank you, Tara. And so, yes, I'm Jimmy Tracchio. I'm with Downtown Fresno Partnership and Downtown Fresno Foundation. It's kind of two sides of the same coin there. We're very happy to have all of you on board joining us for Create Here. It's a great process to help you really kind of think out where you're heading with your business ideas and moving forward. And we're happy to provide a way for you to get to that next step of having a physical location in downtown. Downtown is doing pretty well through the pandemic overall. I think we're, our businesses are struggling a little, but I think we're all kind of banding together as a community and getting through it on a good note. So I'm pretty happy with that. This competition, though, I think you're gonna learn a lot as you go, and I think you'll find yourself as part of our greater downtown community and becoming an asset to the destination we're trying to create in downtown Fresno. We want independent businesses that really give a unique local flair to the city to be based down there. It's kind of who we are and what we're made of. So with that, I thank you for participating. I'm going to hand it to Danny, who's going to go a little more into the Create Here program and give details of that, and we'll go from there. Danny?
Thanks, Jimmy. Can everybody hear me all right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of give a program overview right now. If you haven't started working on your application yet, this will be good information for you to get started ahead of the application deadline next week on October 7th. So first of all, if you want to find more information about the Create Here program, you want to go to our website at downtownfresno.org and click on Do Business. And then on the drop-down menu, you'll see the Create Here business plan competition. That webpage has the information packet on everything you need to actually apply, and as well as additional contact information and resources to help you develop your business plan. So there's also a pre-application survey on that webpage. Go ahead and fill that out just to kind of show your interest in the competition, but make sure that you are working on developing your business plan and all of the other requirements that I'll get into ahead of the October 7th deadline. So Tara already touched a little bit on the award structure for the competition, but I'll go into a little bit more detail. We have $25,000 in cash awards that will be paid out to the top 5 business plans. The number 1 award is a $10,000 grand prize to the grand prize winner. And then we have 2 second place prizes of $5,000 each and 2 third place prizes at $2,500 each. So getting ready for the next stage of the competition, after the October 7th deadline, we will be selecting 10 finalists, or up to 10 finalists from the submissions. So in order to be considered as a finalist, you will need to fill out the application packet that is on the web page that I mentioned earlier. You will need to submit a copy of your business plan, and it can be a rough draft of your business plan. It doesn't need to be completely finished or perfect, but just getting your business plan down on paper and submitted by October 7th is critical. You also need a 60-second pitch video. So that can be a produced video if you want, or it can be just as simple as you getting on your phone, recording yourself, talking about why you want to come to downtown Fresno, why you're excited about your business plan, that sort of thing. And then we also need your resume. All of these things need to be emailed to daniel@downtownfresno.org before midnight on October 7th. So by the end of the day on October 7th. If you have any questions about the submission process, feel free to get in touch with me at daniel@downtownfresno.org. As far as the judging criteria for the competition, we're looking for businesses that improve the downtown Fresno business mix. So something that's new and exciting that maybe we don't already have in downtown Fresno. We want you to engage the public and show how you're going to do that in your business plan. One of the big things is making sure that your business plan is COVID-19 adaptable, right? So there's a lot of restrictions for businesses right now. How are you going to run your business in a way that maximizes your potential, given the current business climate? What are your hours of operations? How many employees you plan to hire? That sort of thing is also important. And all of this is in the packet that you can find on the website as well. So just a little bit more on the timeline. So get your applications submitted via email by October 7th, and then we will be announcing the finalists on October 23rd. And that will be announced to the public. And then over the next month, we will be meeting with finalists to talk about ways that you can improve your business plan before the final deadline, as well as if you're further along, we can start looking at opportunities as far as actual spaces that you could move into, or talking to you about trying to get a business loan to help finance your business. We will be selecting, and then the deadline for the second round of your business plan, if you're selected as a finalist, will need to be submitted by December 3rd. And it's the same submission process. Just email it to daniel@downtownfresno.org. And then we will be announcing the winners on January 6th, early next year. And that's kind of the overview of the business plan competition. So I think with that, I will send it back to Tara.
And thank you, Daniel. It's so nice to be here today to talk about this opportunity, which is such a significant opportunity for our small businesses at this time. We at FMBC, we engage, educate, and empower local Black-owned businesses through technical assistance, capacity building services, and supplier development linkages. And we love opportunities like this because they create energy around entrepreneurship and innovation. And up next, we have someone who knows quite a bit about that. And next we will have Rich Mostert of Valley SBDC talk to us a little bit about the services that they provide and what this incredible competition means to them.
Well, thank you so much, Tara. She's always so good at introducing me. I sound much better than what I really am, thanks to her. So thank you again for that. Welcome, everybody. And again, for those of you who don't know, I'm the director of Valley Community Small Business Development Center. And our short story is this: we help anyone who wants to start, grow, expand, or survive in business within Fresno, Madera, and Tulare and Kings counties. So we have a very large service area. And we do this basically in two ways. One is direct one-on-one consulting. We hire consultants to help you with your small business needs. And then the other side is we participate in training activities such as these to help get the word out and help people understand ways in which they can manage their business better and things of that sort. And as many of you can probably imagine, I think the last 6 months, and Tara can attest to this as well, and I'm sure the Downtown Friends can as well, we've all been struggling just to make sure that people got the funding they need just to keep the doors open for now. But I think it's time to start, looking to turn the corner. And that's why we're very happy to be participating once again as hopefully a valued partner with the Downtown Association to kind of take what we do and plug it into the process of this program. And so what we are available to do throughout this process and afterwards is help people if they need help in getting their business plan together, and if they need somebody to critique their business plan. And then again, providing any other advice if they need to bounce ideas off the wall and see if it makes sense. Making sure they understand that, is the downtown area right for their market, those kind of things. And then the other side of it too is working with my good friends like Conrad at Central Valley Community Bank, trying to help them after the fact, either winning or not winning. Everybody's a winner in this process, I will tell you that right now. Helping them understand where they need to go to get financing if that's needed. And it's understanding what financing is all about, the requirements that are not, there's no such thing as a lender who doesn't want to make a loan. I'll tell you that right now. I say that a lot in my presentations, but there are restrictions that all lenders have to follow. And so right now it's kind of the wild, wild west, to be honest with you. And so we work with traditional lenders like Central Valley Community Bank, and we send a lot of deals there, and they get funded. But there are some that just won't qualify, and they may need stimulus funding, or they may need wildfire-related funding for the disaster loans. There are also a number of different programs that are just starting up in the next couple of weeks that are very unique, that are put together by consortiums of lenders to try to reach the people who just couldn't get a traditional or even a nonprofit loan from the CDFI. So what we do is we kind of are the plug-and-play agency, I say, where, if you have a program like this, Create Here, which I absolutely love because I'm the biggest fan in the world, literally and figuratively, of the downtown Fresno area. And I want to see more and more growth in that area. So our role is to support both the candidates who are applying, if you need that kind of help, but also the people in the process who are going to other rounds, and the people who win. Our role is to make sure that we can provide any kind of supportive services in terms of technical assistance and training to help you succeed in that business. We all know on this panel how hard it is to start and run a business. Our job is to help you understand that better, prepare for it better, so that you can be a successful contributor to the downtown economy. And so with that, I'm just going to open it up for any things that Tara wants me to talk about, or if there are questions, or moving on to the next speaker.
I think that we'll probably take the questions at the end, if that's okay with you, Rich. We'll make sure that we have enough time for all of our presenters first, and then we'll let everybody get their questions in, because I know folks are going to have some questions about this very hot topic. And so next up, we have Conrad Moore from Central Valley Community Bank. So happy to have you here today, Conrad. We have enjoyed a wonderful relationship with CVCB over the years, and look forward to hearing what you have to say to our small business owners right now. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Tara. Thank you very much for that introduction. Yeah, that is exciting. It makes me feel good. No, I appreciate everyone here having me to speak a little bit about just, traditional lending and financing and how to obtain that. Just some of the things that lenders like myself are looking for. First off, I'll let you know that I am a commercial lender with Central Valley Community Bank. I've been working in the industry for a little over 10 years now, and much of that experience has been gathered either as an underwriter or a commercial lender. And so if I had to answer the question of what is it that traditional banks are looking for in a loan application, I would have to start with the comment that bankers are looking to make loans with as little risk as possible. You know, it's just the way the traditional banking operates. Now, that is not to say that bankers don't understand that there is inherent risk in every loan. We all understand that. But you know, if I had to make a case, you know, as Rich was talking about, you know, some restrictions that are difficult to get around. You know, there are things out there that make certain loans riskier than others. So I just kind of wanted to go through what it is that I look at when I'm looking at a loan application. And, you know, number one, the first thing is, I think we can kind of go through some of the 5 C's of credit to talk about these things. And the first one is just character. And I would say, you know, character has a big, it has a big thing to do with whether or not you're going to be able to get a loan application through a traditional bank. Because what we're looking at in there is, number one, are you established? You know, we are looking typically for, you know, established businesses. Many lenders are going to be looking for businesses that have been in operations for around 5 years. And the reason why lenders are trying to do that is because the first thing that we're going to ask you for is 3 years of financial statements, 3 years of tax returns, 3 years of individual tax returns, and even a personal financial statement. So it's very difficult to analyze those metrics, those financials, if you haven't been in business for that period of time. Now, that is not to say that you cannot get traditional bank financing if you are a new business. There are programs out there that help with that. Traditional lenders have access to Small Business Administration loans and guarantees that help banks feel that they're taking a smaller amount of risk. But any loan that a lender is going to look at is going to want to know what type of experience that you have in the field that you're trying to move forward in. So even if you are starting a new business, it's always good to have some sort of experience that you've established within that industry. After bankers get financial statements and tax returns, we're always going to have questions. We're always going to have, you know, we're always going to know what happened to this number, what happened to that number. I would just recommend that you are always open with your lender, always be open with your bank about any historical questions that they may have. Don't be guarded. Make sure that you're open to sharing any issues that might have been on a past credit report, maybe a down year in sales from, you know, a year or two ago. Always be open to give those answers. If bankers feel as though they are getting truthful, open answers, they're going to feel really good about moving forward with your request. The other thing that most traditional bankers are going to look for is your capacity, right? So this is your ability to repay the loan, right? I mean, obviously bankers don't make loans that they don't want to have repaid. So in this case, bankers are going to be looking at how strong your cash flow is, your extra cash flow at the end of the year. If you are, do you have, or after all of your revenues have been collected, after all of your expenses have been paid, after all of your accounts payables have been paid down, what amount of cash do you have left at the end of the year? What have your business operations generated in excess cash flow at the end of the year? Oftentimes, banks are looking at one of two things to measure that cash flow. Is either your EBITDA, which is your earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, or they are looking at your UCA cash flow, which is your uniform credit analysis. So if you're developing a relationship with a banker, ask them, feel free to ask them which of those metrics they're going to use to measure your cash flow. And if you can hone in on that number within your business, you can know that, hey, I want to be able to show that this cash flow number is growing every year, that it looks strong every year, at a minimum, a bank is going to want your cash flow figure to be at least 125% greater than any loan payment that you are asking for. So it can be 125%. Some banks may even ask for 135%. The stronger, the better. If you can get to 150% of a loan payment, great. If you can get to 200% of a loan payment, you're doing really well. You're golden at that point. The other thing that bankers are going to look for is capital. If you are opening a new business, are you personally investing into this? And that's just something that bankers like to see. It makes them feel as though you are dedicated to this and that you have some skin in the game yourself. That oftentimes ends up being about a 20% injection into a new business venture. So of your total project costs, let's say that you're trying to open up a new manufacturing company, and you think it's going to take you about $200,000 to open it. Make sure that you have at least 20% of that available that you'll be willing to put into that total project cost. The other thing that you want to factor in is, do you have cash reserves on hand? Capital is also something that banks look at. We really want to know, once we are in the loan, do you have the capacity or the ability to step in and help if business operations were to decline a little bit? Do you have that liquidity within the business? Do you have that liquidity on your personal financial statement? Banks always want to feel that surety. They always want to feel, as though there's help if business operations were to fall on some hard times. One of the other things that all banks are going to look at is collateral. So if you are, looking to start a business, if you are new, just understand that your banker is going to ask you for some sort of collateral that can cover the loan if we get to a portion where the bank is, or if you're having trouble repaying for the loan. It's just one of those things that you need to be prepared for. So you should all be aware. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was just the conditions of a loan. One thing that bankers are very interested in and are always doing is analyzing our economy. There are certain industries in every economy that are doing well, that are trending up. There are always industries within an economy that are also trending downward. So if you, regardless of how strong you may be in all of the other things that we just spoke about, if you are trying to move into an industry that is, frowned upon by a banker, unfortunately, that can cause some problems. That can cause you to have some difficulty getting an application. However, again, there are other programs out there like the Small Business Administration, like the Valley Small Business State Guarantee Program, that can help to mitigate some of those factors. The last thing that I would say too is, if you're starting a new business, it's just very important to be patient. Okay, let your business grow. Let your business grow into its own strength. Learn about it. It does take time to understand how your business works. You may start your business off in one way and it might totally change into something else. Just make sure that you are analyzing your business, that you are being patient, and while you're being patient, before you go into the lender, make sure that you're prepared. Make sure that you have all the financial information that you need. Make sure that you know the details of the project that you're trying to begin. I would say that if you do those things, you're going to have a lot of success in trying to get traditional bank financing. Tara?
Wow. Yeah, that was great, Conrad. Woo, those 5 C's, they follow us around, don't they?
They sure do. Sure do.
They really do. Character, 3 years of financials. I always say that your banker ought to be your best friend. You need to get to know your banker and let your banker get to know you. Because even if they can't lend to you right away, having a great relationship can lead you to other options, right?
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for that. I have a real quick question for you. I know that your bank does a lot of SBA loans.
Mhm.
And I'm just curious if you could talk a little bit about that experience. Does it differ from applying for a credit line or a different kind of loan? Let us know about that a little bit.
Yeah, so you know what, I would say that small business administration lending oftentimes has, you know, some different parameters that mitigate risk of a traditional lender. So even if you are looking to get into small business administration, you know, or if you're looking to get an SBA loan, you still want to have all of those key metrics in place. Where a loan does, or a guarantee from the Small Business Administration does step in, is when maybe you are, maybe you have a shortfall on one of the 5 C's that we just talked about. If you are short on collateral, Small Business Administration guarantee can help out with that, as well as the state guarantee program. If you are short, a little bit short on cash flow, there are some programs that within the SBA only require 115% of loan payment rather than 125%. So especially if you are looking to start a brand new business, one of the things that we always talk about is having those specific businesses look into those SBA programs, because they just make banks much more, I don't know, warm and fuzzy about doing loans like that. So if you are getting pushback from traditional lenders, ask them about SBA programs. Traditionally, the 7A program will provide a 75% guarantee, meaning if you were to have trouble repaying the loan, federal government will step in and help to pay the lender back up to 75% of the amount that the lender has lent in principal. So that entices banks to do more lending for startup companies and other things. They also have the 504 program when commercial real estate loans are being looked into. Traditional financing is going to require a 25% down payment. If you qualify for the SBA 504 program, it could back that down payment down to just a 10% injection. So there are programs out there that are made to help folks that are really trying to get their business started, but maybe have trouble in 1 or 2 small areas.
And just to add to what Conrad
Excellent.
is saying, it's really important that we do have some SBA micro lenders in the region who operate what's called the SBA microloan program. And there's a number of different, what we call CDFIs, Community Development Financial Institutions. And we also are getting more and more programs, like I said at the beginning, of consortiums of agencies coming together to provide more loan opportunities. So again, the most important thing is start with your bank. We say that to every single client, always start with your bank, because again, they are going to have the best possible loan products for you. However, if for whatever reason, whether it's on your side as a borrower in terms of a deficit in one of the C's, thank you, Conrad. I love the C's talk. That's one of my favorites. If you have that, or you just don't have enough materials together, or it's outside of the range that the bank can do for you, you need to sit down and talk to somebody. Most banks know this, but you can also come to Tara's group at the chamber or the Downtown Association or my organization and say, what other options are there for us? That's what we do. We're constantly looking for any other options for our businesses in the area. So just keep in mind, start with your bank first, then let us know how we can help you out.
Awesome. And Rich, I was going to throw that to you because I know you have 25 years of history in the lending business. I was going to ask you what you suggested on top of that. So thank you. You got right in there with that.
25 years of history and a big mouth too. So there you go.
That's okay. We're all friends here. So we do have a question from one of our participants. At what stage during the competition process are business loans approached and or considered?
Well, I don't think there's ever a bad time to consider a business loan. I think Conrad said that very well, and you said it as well, Tara, is like, you should talk to your local banker and make some relationships happen. You should do that long before you even start a business, because they're great advisors and they can help you in the process. But understand that there is a process to lending. It is not just a simple, here's one page form and you walk away with your check that same day. So you have to be ready to know that you got to put some time into it. Get the materials the lenders need, get the backup documentation. Anything they're asking you for, you need to provide. So the bottom line is, yes, there's no such thing as just a quick, hey, here's your money, unless you go, to some loan shark on the corner, and you should never do that. Just make sure you start the relationship now and explore possibilities. If you're not sure, talk to your banker first and say, do you think this is something you might want to take a look at? And they may say, well, tell me about your plan and what's your experience, or your background, or your training in this, and why do you think it's going to be a successful business? And if you're not ready to justify that, maybe you can say, well, let me finish this competition where I'm going to have a nice, complete business plan at the end, and then I can show that to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just add too, these business relationships that are, cultivated at the beginning of these applications, or, even prior to, go on and on throughout the life of your business. These things don't stop. We have a lot of loans where we look at quarterly financial statements. We have conversations with them about how things are going. Some even on a monthly basis. I mean, there's a lot of worth in talking to your banker on a regular basis, so that we can really just act as a guide for you and what you're trying to establish. Like Rich said, if we can't do it, we can try to move or advise you to speak with some people that may be able to help you better, at least as of right now, so that we can grow you to the point where you can come back to us and then and start to establish the financing that you're really looking for. So, like Rich said, I think it's a great idea to start talking to your banker now about what it takes to get financing for either a startup project. We can refer you out to others. If you have experience in a startup project that you are looking into, SBA financing is still something that, can really help you. That way, you're still working with a traditional lender, with myself, at Central Valley Community Bank. We can actually get the ball rolling if you've been working in that industry. So don't think that just because your business has not begun, that it's not time to have a banker involved. Get a banker involved so that they can talk to you and advise you on where we can all go from here.
One other thing to just keep in mind is that all of us in the business consulting field and the business support field, we have the mentality of, yes, if you can get your loan from a traditional bank, that is the best way. They have the best products, they have the best pricing, and that is a fact. But if you can't, and you have to go to an alternative lender, that's okay, and we're going to do our best to help you, and you need to have the end in mind, saying we're going to eventually graduate back to that traditional bank. But the important thing is keep the relationship with the banker, because there's other products and services that they offer that could help you with your business in terms of merchant services, payroll services, whatever it may be. You want to start that relationship early so they say, wow, we can look back. They've been employing people for a long time. They have good monthly credit card statements coming through, or debit card statements. That helps support your cause as you grow your business.
Excellent, excellent information. Gentlemen, I want to change the subject just a little bit here and just ask, it's really important, I think, for people to get into the right kind of business and to explore emerging markets. And just wanted to know what your thoughts are about any trends you see or any recommendations that you might make for businesses who are thinking about this competition and new opportunities in the marketplace.
Yeah, I think right now, we're in such a time right now where, everything is very difficult to analyze right now. We're going through this pandemic. So it's hard right now for, bankers to make, great decisions on new industries and how those industries are currently performing because, there's been such an impact right now because of, due to COVID-19. We were doing, multiple restaurant loans over the last, I would say, 5 years. Even though restaurant loans can be, risky for, or can be viewed as risky for lenders, we were doing those. Right now, obviously, we have to wait to see how, revenues are going to continue to be impacted by COVID-19. I would say right now, industries that bankers love: manufacturing, office work. Retail right now is difficult, again, because of the COVID-19 issue. So, every day we're looking at different industries and trying to establish which ones are, like I said, trending up and trending down. And I think that if you are in the manufacturing, our bank, so I'll say this also, every bank can have a specialty in different industries as well. So what our bank does a lot of is contractor financing. And there are many banks out there that are not interested in contractor financing. So, I think that, as Rich said, it is important to have a relationship with your bank so that you can know what industries they feel comfortable with. And, once you can figure that out, you can figure out if they're actually a good fit for you.
And what we're saying, Conrad said it really well. I think most of us who either have been in business or have helped businesses or have a combination thereof witnessed the biggest amount of 52 card pickup we've ever seen in our lifetimes. And we're living through such chaotic times right now. But there's a couple of levels you want to think about. There are some businesses that are doing well. And one of the things we help people when they're saying, I'm not sure I know what kind of business to start. Well, you look around and say, okay, what's considered essential? You can go to your county website and say, what's an essential business? One of the trends that I've seen over the last 6 months is, guess what? Convenience stores are essential. I'm seeing a boom in those right now because SBA financing is so good for them. So there's trends. And then you look for what businesses transitioned well during this whole pandemic situation. And one of the examples that always pops into my mind is I have a couple of clients who are therapists. And lo and behold, you can do therapy through Zoom and doing just fine. People are more stressed now, so their business is increasing. So can you transition to a new model to do that? And then you want to look at some of the other trends of either pivoting or getting into an industry that's done well. One of the things I try not to be Mr. Gloom and Doom because it's sometimes easy to slip into that. But when you look at it, how many of you know people who have nurseries, hardware stores, food-related stores that get into cooking and culinary things? They're booming. We have a shortage of yeast, for God's sakes, for like 3 months in this town. I mean, they're doing quite well. So can you get into that trend at all? Or can you take what you're doing and somehow pivot it into something else? And that's a little more unique, but I've had plenty of clients who are like brewers who switch to making hand sanitizer, to leotard makers who start making masks. whatever it is, again, you want to try to test the waters. And sometimes just a good business idea is a good business idea. And if you can make it happen within the parameters of the social distancing and safe practices rules that we have, that's one you can move forward with.
Yeah. Yeah, I think too, if you're trying to do something new, a good idea is trying to incorporate that into your current business now. So, instead of starting a new venture where you're taking, a larger amount of risk, is there some way that you can take the industry trend, trends that industries that are trending upward? Is there a way for you to just take a piece of that into your business? How can you take what you're currently doing and make it a part of your current business so that you can grow revenues and continue to expand?
And this probably doesn't apply to a lot of startups, but what we're seeing with some of our older, more established businesses is it's forcing them to get technology savvy. And we all should have been doing that many years ago, but it's like, yeah, I'll get to it when I can get to it. So, I've got retailers who are doing virtual concierge on FaceTime. They're going in front of their products with a phone and saying, do you like this? Do you like this? So they're just thinking outside of the box right now is so critical. You don't just make a bicycle, you figure out ways to get people to understand why bicycling is so important and how you can ride safely and wear a mask and all these different things. So, incorporate it all into the project when you do it.
Yeah, that's great advice, gentlemen. Adapt or die is really kind of what we're facing right now, right? Oh, necessity is the mother of invention, I believe that says. And right now we are in a time where there are so many emerging needs, and the opportunity for shifts are great. I'm waiting to see who creates that niche business for socially distanced parties and events and all of that. I mean, I'm just really, really waiting to see how that happens, because I went to an event last week. We drove through a tent and picked up food and drinks and the whole thing, and it was such a cool experience. I never ever would have thought of something like that. So there's significant opportunity out there. So thank you, gentlemen. It is now time for us to turn to our business owners. And Conrad and Rich, I hope you guys stay around to hear their stories and take any questions if we have more of those in the end. And actually, let me just double check, make sure that we don't. Okay, so we do have one more question. I apologize, before we go to our business owners. How influential, if at all, is winning a competition such as this when it comes to business loan approval? Is it an influence? Can it take over the 5 C's?
I think winning a competition such as this shows us that you have been very organized, that you've been able to establish yourself as someone who should at least be able to have a conversation. Now, whether or not it's something that's going to, get you a loan, maybe not necessarily, but it is something that can get you in front of multiple people that may be able to lend you some sort of assistance. The lenders are always looking for the next person in the beginning stages of a business that are going to grow into, the next multi-million-dollar business. So, always, something like this, I believe, can propel you into understanding the business a lot more, which is, a character thing. It's going to get you much more organized, so that when you come to a banker, you're going to have the details that you want and all that. However, winning the competition, like I said, I think it can get you more access. It may not necessarily get you a loan, but I think it's at least the beginning stages of getting you towards that loan. And look, the loan process is not a quick turnaround process. I think that's one of the key things that I've seen. We get a lot of customers who believe that they can come in, apply for a loan, and within a week or 2 weeks, they're going to have, a check in their hands. Loans can take, at least, commercial loans can take, at least 30 days, and they can take years as well. I mean, they can take, up to 12 months for us to organize things in a manner that are going to be beneficial, not just for us, but also for you. Rushing into a loan product is not something that you want to do. You want to fully understand what you're getting yourself into, and that just takes time. That takes you knowing how your business is actually operating. So, those are, like I said, winning a competition like this, I think, can help get the ball rolling in the right direction.
There's an expression as a recovering lender, we all have our old expressions, and winning a competition like this is prestigious and it's important, and you put it in your business plan and you use it to promote, especially if prior winners have gone on to do great things. That's good to use it as an example. But this cannot make a bad loan good, but it could make a good loan better. And that's really how you have to look at it. It's not going to make or break it if the deal's not a fundable deal, period. But if it's got a lot of the good components and it helps support it, it may help influence moving forward, maybe with a guarantee or something like that.
Awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here. Create Here business plan competition from two Valley experts on finance, Conrad Moore, Central Valley Community Bank, Rich Mostert, Valley SBDC. We are now at the point of our program that we are going to bring on businesses that have been through and won this competition. And we're going to get an opportunity to hear from each of them, know their stories, and maybe give you just a little bit more inspiration for this upcoming competition. We are going to start with Kirk James of RIT General. And Kirk, if you could just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about RIT General and yourself, and what was the most valuable part of participating in Create Here for you and your business?
So my wife and I started RIT General back in 2015. We were living in Los Angeles, wanting to return to Fresno. We'd both been working in the apparel industry for about 15 years apiece, so about 30 years combined experience in the industry. And we kind of saw the need for a retail space in downtown, and we had never worked a retail job in our entire lives. So we felt like we needed to get involved to better learn that industry, which it was a tremendous help. Like I said, not having any retail experience, it really forced us to sit down and look at every aspect of our business and that industry, and really dissect it and really come out with a lot of positive information, and really prepared us with this great playbook to kind of refer back to, and just really kind of going into it much more comfortable into opening that business. So like I said, we're going to open no matter what. We most likely probably wouldn't have written a business plan, to be honest with you, but when we were moving back to Fresno, we had heard about the Create Here competition, and it just made complete sense for us to get involved with it. And it was a tremendous help. And any advice I'd get people to just really take advantage of every resource that's available here. The SBDC, the financial mentors, that was something that financially wasn't something that we really had a lot of experience in. So we really took advantage of sitting down with all the financial advisors and mentors to really make sure that we knew what kind of money we needed to get involved as extra padding in case business was going to take a while to come together or whatnot. But yeah, I would say just take full advantage of all the resources, put in the effort to really make a good solid plan, and it's only going to benefit you. If by chance you don't win any money, which my wife and I didn't back in the day, but we came out of it very prepared. And I like to think, almost 5 years later, we're still in business. So I think a lot of it came out of this Create Here competition.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing your story. Next up, we'll hear from Anthony Aleman of Moss Fresno. So Anthony, tell us about your business, Moss Fresno or MAS Fresno, and how did Create Here help you with your business?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for this time. Yeah, so Moss Fresno, it stands for Music Arts Style. And we are located in Fulton Mariposa Mall, by the, I always say catty corner to Chicken Shack. So right there in the free speech stage. And, you know, Moss currently, our business plan had to kind of change because we did it last year. We placed second in the competition this past year. So before we got to get started, you know, the pandemic hit. So we kind of had to change it all up a little bit, you know. So kind of right now we are working as a retail attraction and mainly a design center, you know. We're kind of mainly using our direct-to-garment machine. We cut to sew. We have our industrial sewing machines. So it's just, that's where it's kind of gone. It's turned into, we're running a print shop right now. So that's how we're kind of just trying to survive. And I'll tell you what, this has, just to piggyback off what Kirk mentioned, I think this kind of forced us to write our business plan, and the help with the financial advisors was just something that we didn't know that was going to be so useful to us. But pretty much this was just a launching pad for us. You know, we're very community driven. All of our events, we want to bring the community together. So this has really just provided us a lot of resources in the downtown community.
Awesome. Thank you, Anthony. Next, let's hear from the chef amongst us, Chef Naomi of RawFresno. How did Create Here help you develop your business plan? And tell us a little bit about yourself and your business. You're on.
Yeah, got to unmute it, right? Thanks so much, Tara. So RawFresno is a plant-based, organically grown, local food that we prepare that's all vegan. It's been in business, I've been in business since, it's been 14 years now. So I started out as just teaching classes at Whole Foods. And then I was invited to have a tent at Kaiser Farmers Market. So from a tent, I watched that new inspiring opening of food trucks in Fresno. And so that's where I decided, you know what, that's the next step. So from the tent, I grew into a food truck, and I just had the food truck and I was going really good. I was doing that for about right at a year, I believe, when I got introduced to the Create It Here contest. And it was really interesting because of how my niche market was introduced to Fresno. I felt like I had received that letter in that email directly to me saying, downtown wants you to have a restaurant here. So to me, I knew I was going to win. I knew it didn't matter what anybody said. I was going to be a part of this because I love downtown. I was born and raised here. We went to Cart Hop in the tent before we even had the truck, and then Cart Hop continued when doing the truck, and I wanted to have my restaurant in downtown, especially when they were showing us that we had that opportunity. And so I sought out where it could be, and I knew the Galleria area would be foot traffic, and that's where I wanted to have a location. And so the Create It Here program was very excellent in helping me just the SBA, the financing, what the other two gentlemen had just spoke about saying, it was so true. It's like even though I had been in business for so long already in my small way, not a restaurant, but I had quite a following because I use social media, and it is so important using those tools and being a part of downtown community. You can just incorporate and tag and be in those groups. And so there's so many more people that get to see you, not just your following, but their following. And so there's never a day that goes by that I won't post and tag so many people to let people see your beautiful product, whatever it might be. You'll have to check out RawFresno.com and see our beautiful gluten-free, dairy-free desserts. If we don't have a special for the day, even though all of our food is delicious and special, I'll just put a picture of something beautiful, and the comments are just coming in. And the whole time through this COVID, we never closed. I mean, we didn't serve inside, but we never closed the doors. We always had deliveries already established. We had a large presence already established, like I said, in social media. So it was very simple to say, we have seating outside. We will carry your food to the curb. Here's our signs. Here's how you get to our front door. Do a live video, a live feed. But for downtown, I love it. I'm signing my new contract in May for 5 more years at our location because we love downtown, and it's a community that I would never have it anywhere else in Fresno.
Wow, downtown lover here. I am right there with you. That is such a very powerful and very strong story, and just you guys are awesome. Their entrepreneurs are incredible mavericks. Next up, we have Pose. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right, or Sai, from the Modernist. And I cannot wait to hear your story. I was just at your place last Friday night. Thank you very much, at a COVID-safe birthday party outdoors. So can't wait to hear from you about your Create Here story, yourself, and your business.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tara. And good to see you last Friday. It was an interesting experience. But I'm glad you had fun. And also, yeah, I can't pronounce my own name correctly half the time, so no worries there. Kind of jumping in, I think I'll hit on 2 topics: how to create your help with getting Modernist started, and what it's like operating a cocktail bar in downtown Fresno. So in terms of Create Here, I think there are a lot of benefits that it provides. First and foremost, shout out to Kirk. You know, every little bit of capital helps. It goes a long way. You know, it's $1,000 here, $2,000 there, both on the plus side and on the cost side. So, you know, whenever you have any incremental capital that you can access, that's super beneficial. So first and foremost, there's that as part of Create Here. Even more importantly, beyond the capital, Create Here welcomed us at Downtown Fresno community. It's where, you know, we met Kirk. We've known Naomi because we've gone to Raw. Unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to meet everyone, but it's a great community, and you know, it kind of allows you to tap into people who've already been here and done that, and it just increases your likelihood and probability of success. Being able to lean on other resources and people who are going through the same pains and troubles. And the last part is just the ongoing support. No, actually before that, the other half of like just meeting people and introductions with the downtown community and downtown partnership, downtown foundation, the introduction and access to people who are not who are not just there as business partners, but also people, in the background, behind the scenes, people in the city who can help either answer questions that you're having a hard time getting answered, or that a process that got held up. A lot of times there are a lot of support when it's coming from the downtown community. And then lastly, just the ongoing support. This isn't, hey, you won, create here, and then you're off on your own. Jimmy, Danny, these are guys we talk to all the time, and we're always involved, and there's always something going on. And it's that type of interaction, dynamic, and community that allows us to be successful, and us being the entire downtown community, not us as a single entity. So that's, if you're wondering why do create here, all of that comes with, it's a great process. It does force you to be prepared, or at least, it forces you to think through your business a little bit more than most people do. So it's extremely helpful. And then the second question of what it's like operating a craft cocktail bar in downtown Fresno. Look, at the end of the day, we're a cocktail bar. We're having a lot of fun. It comes with the business, right? The team works hard. We're a big family here, but the opposite side of working hard is also having fun. We went into this whole thing wanting to contribute an additional element to the downtown area, creating that extra extra dynamic, or just something different to add on, right? It just adding something new and different brings the entire community up. And I have to say, to what Tara said, we have been so extremely fortunate to have had the support of the downtown community and the broader Fresno community. We wouldn't be here today, especially in times of COVID, without all that support. So, I have nothing to express except gratitude and appreciation. And,
nice.
I guess, sorry, as a business, sorry. Modernist is, we're a craft cocktail bar located in downtown Fresno on the south end of the Fulton Strip. So we're just south of Tioga in the ballpark. And we have a sign sticking out into the road it's a small black circle with an M that's lit up in it. That's how you can identify us. We're across the street from Zach.
Right on. And great craft cocktails. So if you have not been and you're on this webinar today, you want to march yourself right over there. COVID friendly, gotta wear a mask, but you can have an incredible cocktail outdoors. So let's take a couple of questions for you guys. Is anybody have any big announcements? Anything new on the menu up soon? How have you retooled to do something different during COVID? And that's to the group. Any one of you entrepreneurs, jump right in.
Hey, one thing that I forgot to mention is I was having week to week during classes already in person. And then when COVID hit, I just turned them into Zoom classes and they just doubled and tripled. And so I have those recordings, and that's in my online store. So when people ask about my classes, or if they're just interested in wanting to learn about the food, I just say, give me your, text me right now, or here's your phone number. I'll send you the link. And so that's ongoing income constantly, over and over and over. And it's only $15, but they get 3 recipes in one class. So we do that every week. And so that's starting back up again for the fall. I kind of took a break for the month of September.
And
that's a great idea.
With ourself, why Mostert Fresno, we've actually this Saturday we'll be providing a local vendor shopping experience right in front of our area. We'll have vendors, local vendors. It's locals only vendor market. We'll have tables set up for local brands. Tables will be 6 feet apart. We'll be following all COVID policies. And so, yeah, it's been something for us to showcase brands all across downtown Fresno. We'll have over 20 vendors. So that's our, like I said, we're very community driven. So we're trying to bring other brands to showcase themselves. So that'll be this Saturday, October 3rd from 7 to 10 p.m. It's right on the free speech stage in Mariposa Plaza. So yeah, that's been wonderful for us to provide other brands to showcase their talents and their merchandise, their plants, a little bit of everything downtown Fresno.
That's fantastic, Anthony.
Right
Can you
on.
send a link to that or any announcements to maybe the downtown folks, and they can send it to all of us so we can put it through our networks?
Of course we will. Thank you for that.
Yes, and I'm assuming, Anthony, that that's going to be COVID friendly for folks that, okay, awesome.
Yes.
Excellent. Good to know. Anybody else on that question? And if you're listening, feel free to throw your questions in the chat or in the Q&A box.
Kirk, were you going to jump in?
Oh, I was just going to say that we, as our retail store, we're getting ready to reopen this Saturday. We've been closed since mid-March. We, as a retailer, luckily, we were able to kind of pivot. We already had an online presence, but we were really just kind of pushing the online store, sales through Instagram, social media, and just doing like curbside pickups and shipping. We also second as a print shop. So we were still able to we print t-shirts for a lot of downtown and Tower District businesses. So we've been able to kind of keep some money coming in through that. And just, we've been using the time since we've been in this space. November will be 4 years in this location at Warner's. So we've been using the time to do a big remodel. So we kind of gutted the shop and just basically rebuilt and redesigned the shop, freshened everything up. So we've got a bunch of new product coming in, and we'll be opening again this Saturday at 11. And I know Ampersand will have their Airstream out here, and I know they're giving away like 200 ice cream scoops, so for free. So anyone wants to come out and get some free ice cream and check out the shop, feel free. And then I know the Moss event is later that evening. So, and Modernist is right there for cocktails, and Naomi as well.
And I can
did
add
you want in on that?
Yeah, sure. So I'll say we continue to adapt on two fronts. One, normal course of business. Second, more specific to COVID. As a bar, we've been subject to a lot stricter regulations than most. The one kind of loophole that they did provide, they being the state and ABC, is if we choose to effectively operate as a restaurant, that does allow us to open. So we've kind of opted into that, which has fundamentally changed our operating model. And it's just one of those decisions that you make, whether or not you want to do it. It requires investment and requires your team to really step up and kind of embrace that change. It's quite different. So, we've kind of gone through a couple iterations from to-goes to outdoor only to now something in between, and we'll see where it goes. And then, a normal course of business in a couple weeks should be, let's say in 3 weeks, we're actually going to rotate our entire program and launch our fall menu. So there'll be 15 brand new drinks. Any classic, some of our prior menu drinks will always be available. And I say some because some of our drinks require custom prep. So as long as we have the materials, we're happy to make them. But classics, most things off menu that people would know, we can usually make. But yeah, that's kind of how we've adapted through the times. And, I think a common theme is everyone's kind of testing out new avenues, multiple avenues at once. It's just kind of a reality of the times.
Excellent. So tell me, again, I throw this out to all of you, thinking about the Create Here competition and the resources that come with it, thinking about the challenges that you have faced, what in the Create Here program would you say prepared you most for the challenges that you have faced as a business owner, pre-COVID or during COVID?
So I can give a quick response from my end. It goes back to what I was saying about it forces you to think through your business. And one of those thoughts should be what happens in a downside case scenario, right? What happens if things go wrong? I don't think anyone predicted a global pandemic, but to the extent of hey, things go wrong, this would be that scenario. And no one knows how it will actually unfold, but at least you've thought about it and you've thought about contingencies.
Anyone else on that question? Okay, well, it looks like we are out of questions, ladies and gentlemen. So this might be a wrap for Create Here. I do want to thank everybody for participating today. Thank you, Anthony, Kirk, Chef Naomi, Poe, and I know I'm saying your name wrong, but you're going to teach me next time I'm at your bar. You're going to teach me how to say it all correctly, because I don't want to disrespect your mother because she named you. And Conrad, thank you so much. And Rich, thank you. Always a pleasure to work with you, Rich. Daniel, I think I've done my part. Last word to you.
Thank you so much, Tara. You did an amazing job helping host this. Really thankful to you and everyone else that participated. And I think with that, we're ready to wrap this up. We will be having a recorded video of this available for anyone that wasn't able to tune in live as well. So I think with that, thanks for everyone for participating, and hope to talk to everybody soon.